Better Together with Maria, your life improvement series.
I was really in this vulnerable place, and I remember feeling like, my parents, who out of their love for me took a really defensive posture and were like, what are you doing? This is insane. How are you going to pay your rent? How are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to eat? And so anytime I would kind of bring up kind of my vulnerabilities or my feelings or whatever, I felt like shut down. I felt like there was no relating, and so I had this story in my head proved out in the evidence that my mom doesn't listen to me. She doesn't listen to me. When I call her, she's doing her makeup, she's blowing out her hair, she's interrupting me, she's telling me about the meeting she's going to, she doesn't listen to me, which was really painful. Then I did Byron Katie's work. And she has 4 questions and a turnaround. So the first question, so you come up with what she has, like your judge your neighbor statement. My judging statement about my mom was, my mom doesn't listen to me. First question, is it true? I'm like, hell yeah, it's true. Here's all the reasons I just shared with you. Question number 2, can you know without a shadow of a doubt that statement is true? And I was like, fuck, I can't. Maybe while she's doing her hair and blowing it out and talking about this, maybe she hears me too. Maybe she is listening to me. Like maybe sometimes she hears me. Question number 3. What happens or how do you feel when you believe the thought, my mother doesn't listen to me? Like, well, I feel rejected. I feel small. I feel unloved. I feel uncared for. I feel unsafe. I feel that I don't matter. Number 4, who would you be if that thought never occurred to you? And I flashed to a moment before getting on the phone with my mom. And I realized that when I see her calling, I have this stress response because she doesn't listen to me. So what the fuck's the point? So I was like, well, if I didn't believe that, if that thought never occurred to me, I'd get on the phone with her just like I get on the phone with anybody else.
Yeah.
5th question. No, not 5th question. 4 questions and a turnaround. Change one word in the sentence that makes the opposite of the sentence true. This is where it got really interesting. Change one word in the sentence to make the opposite of the sentence, to make the sentence mean the opposite. So my mother doesn't listen to me, change one word, my mother listens to me. It's like, okay, that feels good. I don't know that it really feels true. And I was like, well, let me see if I can play around a little more. And I switched the pronouns and the noun. And I said, from my mother doesn't listen to me. Well, we're going to bring tears to me. I don't listen to my mom.
Oh.
And I was like,
Heavy.
oh my God. When I'm on the phone with my mom and she's yapping away and talking about whatever she's talking about, I'm not listening to her. I'm listening to my frustration about the fact that she's talking all the time, about the fact that there's no space for me to be heard. And I realized, how the hell am I supposed to expect to be heard if I'm not going to listen? And so it's, again, that giraffe thing. If I truly want to be a healer in the world, I start right here. So I made a commitment. Anytime I'm on the phone with my mom, I'm going to listen. And I'm going to make listening to her my number 1 priority. So what I did practically was anytime she'd be calling me, if I was like in mode, in movement, in stress, I wouldn't pick up. Because I knew I wasn't going to have the capacity to listen deeply.
Yeah, to hold. Yes.
Hold. So then I would wait until I could take a few minutes, meditate a little, take some breaths, and then I would repeat, I listen to my mother. I listen to my mother. I intend to listen deeply. Then I would call her. This happened for a few weeks until one day my mom called me for the first time in my life. And she said, I just want to say to you, I feel so much closer to you than I've ever felt.
Wow.